JMU Athletics and the JMU Alumni Association are teaming up to bring you this free Madazone HD Sportsnet feature presentation. From Harrisonburg, Virginia and Veterans Memorial Park on the campus of James Madison University, welcome to NCAA Women's Softball. The Colonial Athletic Association schedule begins today. As the coincidence of the schedule would have it, defending champion and preseason favorites Hofstra is in town to face their likely biggest challengers according to the predictions, and the Dukes of JMU. Today's doubleheader is being presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association, Comcast Sportsnet, the JMU Graduate School, Intelos Wireless, the JMU Bookstore, Residence Inn, Quaker Steak and Lube, and Fox Hill Townhomes. For Houston Suts, I am John Simpson, bringing you Game 2 of this doubleheader. We saw JMU take Game 1 5-3, ending a 14-game drought in the series. Hofstra had won the last 14. JMU finally taking a game, looking to get win number 2. They're now 20-9 on the year, as Hofstra with the loss falls to 13-4. JMU coming off an impressive tournament win out in Hawaii with Jalen Ford pitching very well, and she continued that performance in Game 1 today. She went 6 1/3 innings pitched, struck out 9 Hofstra batters, did give up 3 runs in that inning, but she was relieved by today's starter for JMU, Heather Kiefer. Kiefer came in and got 2 batters out and got the save in that ball game. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for today's ball game, game number 2. Starting off and playing left field for Hofstra, Chloe Fitzgerald. Batting second in center field, Rachel Senator. Batting third, playing shortstop, Becca Bigler. Batting cleanup and playing catcher, Aaron Trippi. Batting fifth, the designated player, Maggie Hawkins. In right field and batting sixth, Corinne Bailey. Batting seventh and playing second base, Tori Rocha. Playing first base and batting eighth, Lacey Clark. And batting ninth and playing third base, Kim Smith, as that ball is grounded to second and thrown to Jalen Ford at first for the first out here in game number 1. We are underway here at Veterans Memorial Park here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Harrisonburg, Virginia. As JMU lining up defensively, we'll have in the outfield and left field will be Mimi Morris, center field Nikki Prince, and in right field the freshman Taylor Newton. Third to first we'll have Madison Moran, Caitlin Sandy the senior at short. At second base will be Hannah Hayes and Jalen Ford at first. Erica Field behind the plate for Heather Kiefer on the mound as she fires this one on the outside corner, called strike 1 behind home plate. Is Mark Gregman, the umpire this afternoon for game number 2. At first base, Art St. Germain, and at third base, Joe Massaro. So Heather Kiefer takes a step off the mound, as in the batter's box we do have Rachel Senator stepping in. Had to tie her shoelaces there. She's down in the count 0-1. Gets the sign and fires it in there. Swung on and missed back to the backstop. Quickly 0-2 to the center fielder, Senator.
Well, a big fact we forgot to mention in that first game, Morgan Lashley was the starting pitcher. She's already earned 1 CAA Pitcher of the Week award on February 25th. She was off to a 9-0 start. JMU gave her her first loss of the year in game 1 of this doubleheader. And again, she had pitched 8 complete games in her first 10 starts. So make that 9.
2-strike pitch grounded out to Jalen Ford. She simply tags out Rachel Senator for out number 2. 2 down here in the top of the first inning for the Pride. Heather Kiefer coming out and pitching well as the shadows are starting to set in just beyond home plate, about 5 to 6 feet out there, based on sort of an estimation from our view up here, as Becca Bigler is coming up to the box. She had a big 2-run home run in the top of the 7th inning in game 1. Cut the deficit to 2, 5-3 at that point, and then JMU got the final 2 outs. She checks her swing on that first pitch. It's in there right over the heart of the plate for strike 1.
Heather Kiefer, you mentioned the shadow. The sun is just blaring right over top of the press box. You see Kiefer when she looks in to get the sun. She's got to have her glove over her head because she likes not to wear the visor like the rest of the team does.
Removes the glove down. The shadow's gone. She throws this one in. Goes right over the shoelaces of Bigler for ball 1. Bigler standing tough. She would have taken that one had it grazed her feet, as it stands at the 1-1 count with 2 outs here in the top of the first. Bigler, the shortstop here in game number 2, was there in game 1 as well. Went 1 for 4 with that home run, struck out once, and swings at pitch number 3 in the at-bat. It's a 1-2 count now on the shortstop.
Becca Bigler from Bainbridge, Pennsylvania, went to Elizabethtown High School, entering this game with a .370 average. Again, she has started and played in each game for the Pride, which 8 of their 9 starters have.
1-2 pitch on the way, grounded sharply down the third baseline, just beyond the bag on the left side. That's a foul ball, as we'll do with the 1-2 count again.
But same starting lineup as last game for the Hofstra Pride. They did switch the order around just a little bit.
And Corinne Bailey moved up from the 8th spot to the 6th spot in the lineup. We'll see her later on in the game. Comes another 1-2 delivery from Heather Kiefer. And that one hits the wrist of Bigler. She'll take her base down at first. Sounded like a little bit of a crack there. You hope she's all right. Probably got a wrist, and then the end of the bat right there is first runner is on here in game number 2. So you take a look at the replay here, and what happened, Houston?
Watch her when it hits that wrist, and then watch her after. Very frustrated. She throws that bat down and makes her way down the first base. So that might be that little extra oomph that the Hofstra needed in game 1 that they didn't have.
Here's Aaron Trippi at the box, and she lines that one. It looks like it's just foul, no sign yet. Yes, it is a foul ball down the right field line. Trippi had 3 strikeouts in the first game, was 0 for 4 in her last at bat in the 7th after that 2-run home run by Becca Bigler, pumped out in the infield to third base. Had a rough go of it in game number 1. Looking to turn that around here with a runner on first and 2 outs here in the top of the first. Kiefer gets the sign. Here's the pitch. This one is popped up just behind home plate. And Erica Field will make an easy catch for the final putout. So Hofstra gets 1 runner on base, but that runner is left stranded. Becca Bigler at first. No runs, no hits. 1 left on for Hofstra. We'll head to the bottom of the first right after this. You're watching JMU Softball on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get saucy at Quaker Steak and Lube. Feel the heat with new Sriracha Chicken Tacos, Island Jerk Chicken Sandwich, or Sweet Heat Curry Chicken Wrap. Now for a limited time.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Welcome back here in the halfway through 1 inning in game 2 of the doubleheader between James Madison University and the Pride of Hofstra. No score through 1/2 inning. 1 runner left on base on the top of the first after Becca Bigler was hit by a pitch. No runs, no hits. And we'll see Taylor Perrone out on the bump for Hofstra. There she is, number 20. Hofstra going with the blue and gold trim up top for the shirts of their jerseys and the gray bottoms as well. The Under Armour blue socks. You take a look at Perrone's number so far through the season. She has a 1.31 ERA, a 4-3 record in 8 appearances, has started 6 games, has gone the distance 3 times, has 1 shutout in 42 2/3 innings, has given up 31 hits, 10 runs, 8 of which have been earned, has walked 18 and struck out 22. So we'll see how if she's able to tame that JMU offense, who really had a great first inning in that first game, recorded 5 hits, scored 4 runs in that first inning. We'll get 1 more run in the second, and that would be it, but that's all they needed in a 5-3 win for JMU. As for the Dukes, let's take a look at their starting lineup. Leading off will be Nikki Prince, batting seconds. The second baseman, Hannah Hayes. It'll be Erica Field behind the plate, and she's batting third. Jalen Ford will be batting cleanup and playing first base. Caitlin Sandy at short, she bats fifth. Taylor Newton, the freshman right fielder, batting sixth. Catherine Clavin will get the start this time around. She's the designated player, batting 7th. Madison Moran back at third base, batting 8th. And Mimi Morris in left field, rounding out the lineup in the 9th spot. Nikki Prince led off game number 1 with a single. Grounded out to second base in her first at bat. But then the Dukes really turned it on in the first inning. So we'll see what Miss Prince has in store this time around. The freshman utility player from Ashburn, Virginia, and Stonebridge High School. As Perrone drops the rosin bag, and she is ready to rumble. First pitch to Nikki Prince. She lets it go by just above the shoulders for ball 1.
Another interesting fact, entering this weekend, Hofstra is holding teams to a 199 collective batting average against. It's very strong, but obviously those percentages went up just a little bit last game when the Dukes finished with 7 hits, scored 5 runs.
Nikki Prince gets a piece of that ball, fouls it back to the backstop. It's a 1-1 count on the center fielder for the Dukes. All right, Houston, JMU just absolutely turned it on in that first game. In the first CAA game for either teams, this is number 2. The 1-1 pitch is up and away for ball 2.
And it was that first inning. We'll see if JMU can repeat that here. But it was all about that first inning. They jumped ahead early and then kind of fell off a little bit after that. They just kind of hit the wall after the first.
Perone fires 2-1 pitch. This one's down to short, throws over to first, and gets the out. The 6-3 put out. Becca Bigler to Maggie Hawkins. One away here in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up Hannah Hayes, the second baseman, in game number 2 for Coach Mickey Dean's lineup.
Another interesting tidbit. If JMU can pull off this win today, it would be the first conference series loss for Hofstra since 2006. They've lost conference games, just never a complete series, which JMU won the first game, so a win here would clinch it for the Dukes.
First pitch, another one down to Bigler at short. She'll fire over to first and get another put out. Back-to-back 6-3 outs for JMU. Hannah Hayes goes down on the first pitch she sees. That'll bring up Erica Field. Erica in the first game, rather in her first at bat, singled and then flew out to first and then grounded out to third in her last at bat. So she went 1 for 3 in game number 1. Lets a curveball go by on the inside corner for strike 1. Perone doing a good job of getting JMU to swing at their first pitches. The 0-1 delivery is swung on and fouled just down the third baseline. Good play over there by Kim Smith. Doesn't matter though, as it's out of play. It's 0-2 now, quickly to the catcher for JMU.
Erica Field, a .308 hitter after game 1.
And you talk about Hofstra, who has 6 players who bat well above 300. JMU, not as many, but they still showed the bats in that first game. Another pitch fouled back down the left side. The count will remain at no balls and 2 strikes.
You look at JMU's lineup, they only have 2 people hitting over 300. It's the girl at the plate right now, Erica Field, and the girl who was retired just a minute ago, Hannah Hayes, who has a .355 average.
Here's another 0-2 pitch. That one is just a bit high and inside for ball 1. Good eye there by Erica Field.
You go down the order for the JMU Dukes. Jalen Ford, she's hitting .277. Sandy at .272. Newton at .250. She was the only JMU Duke in the last game with multiple hits. Then designated player, Catherine
1-2 delivery
Clavin.
gets past Perone. And the throw gets away as well. Bounces off the Dukes dugout. We'll see how they score that one. So Erica Field will reach first base safely. Still waiting on the score there as the ball. You'll take a look at the replay. Gets just past Taylor Perone. And on to first base. Maggie Hawkins could not field the throw.
They do rule that a hit, not an error on the throw.
Would have been a tough play for Becca Bigler to make, regardless of how fast Erica Field was getting down the line. The first hit for JMU in game number 2 of this doubleheader. That'll bring up Jalen Ford. Ford with an RBI double last game, and also the winning pitcher picking up her 11th win on the year. As she lets that one go by. Bounces just behind the home plate for ball 1.
Yeah, should have been him to bust out the golf swing a little early if she wanted to get the hold of that.
Speaking of golf swings, it looked like Becca Bigler on that 2-run home run in last game. Looked like she reached for that one too. This ball is hit sharply down the third baseline into Hofstra's dugout. It's now 1-1 on the first baseman for JMU.
Interesting to look at in the 7th spot, Catherine Clavin, the designated player, hitting only .103, and the designated player, just like in baseball, is the DH. So it's kind of curious to see a low average like that sneak in there.
And this is her 7th start of the season, has appeared in 21 games. A stolen base attempt, and out at second base is Erica Field. A tremendous throw there by the catcher for Hofstra, Aaron Trippi. Can't get it done with the bat today necessarily, but still has the gun. So, 1 hit for JMU. They leave nobody on. No runs come across the board. No score through 1 inning here at Veterans Memorial Park. You're watching JMU softball as part of a Matazone HD Sportsnet production presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
I will no longer wait until next month or the month after to download this month's hottest song.
I will no longer be limited to downloading the trailer instead of the movie.
Yes. Yes, I do want to download the attachment.
More phones, more lines, and unlimited data with no surprises. Stand up and demand more. And tell us, wireless for the people. Switch now and we'll buy out your content.
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Park. Heading into the top of the 2nd inning. No score here between the Pride of Hofstra and the Dukes of James Madison University, as Erica Field was gunned down trying to steal second base to end things with Jalen Ford in the batter's box on the bottom of the 1st. So she'll come back up to bat to lead things off in the bottom of the 2nd. But first, Heather Kiefer back out onto the mound in the top of the 1st inning. Did not give up any hits, no strikeouts, but she did induce a couple of ground balls, and also did hit one batter, Becca Bigler, but was able to get out of the inning relatively unscathed. She'll face Maggie Hawkins, Corinne Bailey, and Tori Rocha as the 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up to the plate for Hofstra.
You mentioned Erica Field getting thrown out, attempting to steal second. I think that was kind of a gamesmanship move by Mickey Dean. You had Jalen Ford at the plate with 2 outs, so why not steal the base during her at bat? So then, hey, she can come back up to lead off things for us in the 2nd.
First pitch fouled away at the plate by Maggie Hawkins. It's 0-1. Hawkins in game number 1 as she came to the plate for the Pride. Went 1 for 4, had a single in her first at bat back in the 2nd inning of that game. Here she is in the 2nd as well, leading things off as she did in the 1st game. See if she's able to get on base for her team. The 0-1 pitch from Kiefer. Misses low and inside. It's 1-1.
Heather Kiefer again. She's had 8 complete games out of 16 total appearances. But one of those appearances, or 2 of those appearances, excuse me, have earned her saves, including in the last game.
1-1 curveball. Beauty of a pitch on the inside corner. Just gets the call from home plate umpire Mark Gregman. Talk about location. JMU, if they want to sweep this little doubleheader here, it's going to be about good pitching and getting that offense going again. Heather Kiefer takes her time on the mound, shakes the ball loose right there. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on it, just got a piece of it. Maggie Hawkins fouls that one away. The count will remain the same.
Hawkins, 333. Kim Smith, the 9-hitter, also a 333 hitter in the Pride lineup. Chloe Fitzgerald, leadoff hitter. After her game in last game, she's up above 400 at 404.
Another 1-2 pitch. This one fouled off, this time down the right side of the field. The count's still 1 ball, 2 strikes to the first base, or designated player this time around, Maggie Hawkins. Lacey Clark getting the start at first base today for the Pride. That 1-2 pitch on the outside corner. See you later. That's strike 3, the first strikeout for Heather Kiefer. Now 1 away here in the top of the 2nd. In Houston, we saw Jalen Ford get 9 strikeouts. Majority of those were via the swinging variety. Heather Kiefer says, I can do that too, but I can do it without them taking the bat off their shoulders.
It was a very nice pitch, good location, and like you said, if you can hit those spots, they're not going to be swinging the bats.
This ball trickles down the first baseline out of play. It's 0-1 on Corinne Bailey. Bailey getting the start in right field in back-to-back games. Now moves up to the 6th spot in the lineup after she went 1 for 3 in the first game of the doubleheader. Had a single and 2 strikeouts. Faces an 0-1 count here. She lines this one sharply off the glove of Jalen Ford down to the right field corner. She's thinking two. Newton comes up throwing to second base, and in with a stand-up double is Corinne Bailey. That's the first hit on the afternoon for Hofstra.
And again, the way it just hit Jalen Ford's glove and went to that corner kind of set up perfect for the double. It's a lot of running for Taylor Newton.
Saw her do a lot of that in the first game. You think if that ball gets past the glove, you think, oh, it'll probably still get to the wall, double regardless, but maybe Newton has a play on it, pending that deflection doesn't happen by Jalen Ford. But great effort there by the Dukes on defense. Now, runner on second base with just one out. Here is Tori Rocha. First pitch her way, check swing, foul back to the screen. It's 0-1. Rocha, the lone member of the Pride to reach base every single time last game, was officially 1 for 1, also drew 2 walks. Had a single in her last at-bat last game. She lets a off-speed pitch go by outside. The count even now at 1-1.
Senior second baseman Tori Rocha from Rehoboth, Massachusetts. Back for her third season as a starter in 2013, she earned second-team All-CAA honors for a second straight season. This year, Rocha has a .358 on-base percentage. So she's getting on base. Hofstra just needs to capitalize when she does so. Now she's got a runner in scoring position. We'll see if she can capitalize on that move.
She's had a couple of balls fouled back to the screen. She's down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. With just 1 out. We saw Hofstra last game have a couple of opportunities with runners on first and second. The base is loaded. A runner on third base even at one point. Could not get those runs home. They have an opportunity here early on to strike the bell first. We'll see if they're able to. Kiefer gets the sign. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Kind of awkwardly to third base. Fielding and throwing to Jalen Ford at first base for the 5-3 putout. Good play by Madison Moran. Now 2 away. The runner does advance to third on the play. So Corinne Bailey represents the first run for Hofstra. Neither team today in the game 2 of this doubleheader. That'll bring up Lacey Clark.
Great play by Madison Moran. She came up firing that cannon. Got the ball to Ford in a hurry, and she needed to barely beat the runner. And that's why Rocha has that on base percentage. She can just scoot down the line.
Heather Kiefer brings the heat with that one on the outside corner for strike 1. There was some good velocity on that pitch. As the sun continues to set, we'll see the shadows creep slowly towards the mound as Heather Kiefer continues to shadow that sun from her face. Here's the 0-1 delivery. This one fouled softly back to the backstop. Soft foul ball, but it's strike 2. Kiefer right where she wants Lacey Clark. Down to the count, 0-2.
Kiefer's done a great job of keeping the Hofstra hitters off balance. They've all been swinging at the pitches, but like you mentioned a second ago, very awkwardly, and they're not getting the bat on the ball where they want to, very softly hitting it.
0-2 pitch. That'll get down. That'll bring in the run. That ball is going to get to the warning track. Going to 2. Lacey Clark is going to pull up at second base. It's an RBI double for the first baseman for Hofstra. That's 1-0. Hofstra with the early lead here in game 2.
And as soon as I say hitting the ball softly, Lacey Clark just drills one on a line, rolls to the wall. Very tough play for Nikki Prince to make at the wall. She just didn't read it as well as she'd like to. Taylor Newton was also hustling over there, so both of those players had to communicate, figure out who's getting to the ball and who's sending it in.
And Coach Dean heading out to the mound to settle down his starting pitcher. Kiefer with that 9-4 record, and now in her 17th appearance. 16 was last game, even though it was just 2/3 innings pitched. It's her 13th game started. She's pitched 8 complete games. And 76 2/3 innings, 75 hits, 30 runs, 25 which earned, 14 walks, and has struck out 45 batters.
That hit right there, too, was also very big for Lacey Clark. Struck out twice and walked in the first game.
Dribbler down to third base should be easy for Moran. She throws over to Jalen Ford for the third out. So 1 run does score on the RBI double by Lacey Clark. Hofstra takes an early 1-0 lead. We'll head to the bottom of the second right after this. You're listening to JMU Softball presented by Matazone HD Sportsnet and the JMU Alumni Association.
I knew going to JMU would be more about just getting a master's.
I just knew that it was the place for me.
I feel as though that I'm a part of the institution.
You will never meet a stranger. Everyone is always willing to help you out and to help you through your graduate experience here at James Madison University.
The graduate school here is a great choice.
The education that you receive is top-notch.
It's one of the best in the country. And from here, everything is possible.
Welcome back to the bottom of the second inning here. Hofstra out early to a 1-0 lead on the RBI double from Lacey Clark. And then Kim Smith comes up and grounds out to third base. So Hofstra leaves one on base, does have 1 run in the inning, 2 hits, no errors. And we will see for the Dukes coming up to the plate. Jalen Ford will return to the plate after Erica Field tried to steal second base in last half inning. Ford will be followed by Caitlin Sandy, the senior shortstop, and Taylor Newton.
Which I think was a great move by Mickey Dean, though, to send the steal. Erica Ford only 2 for 5 now on the year on stolen base attempts, but getting that steal while Jalen Ford is at the plate, you don't scrap her at bat. She was behind in the count, wasn't going the way she wanted it to, I would say. But now you let her wipe the slate clean. She comes back, leads things off for the Dukes in the bottom of the second. Chance to get on base and kind of turn the tide for the Dukes, who are trailing for the first time today, 1-0.
Well, here's Ford. She does have a few home runs on the year. Had a 2-home-run game over in that Hawaii tournament. Here she's in the box. The first pitch comes her way, and she swings at the first one she sees. An off-speed pitch. Fouls it off her left leg for strike 1.
You look at Taylor Perrone. She looks very tall out there on the hill, especially to most of the Dukes lineup. She only stands 5'10", though, which still isn't short, but she looks even a little bit taller than that.
So this ball is hit right to short and over to first for the 6-3 putout. Good contact there by Jalen Ford. Hit it right to Becca Bigler, who throws over to first base for the putout right to Lacey Clark. So 1 out here for the Dukes. That'll bring up Caitlin Sandy.
That was a very hard hit ball by Jalen Ford. Becca Bigler was good that ball came right at her, because she should have had to put her glove out for it. It may have took her glove with it. She had to use her body to stop that softball.
Here is Caitlin Sandy riding the box, trying them out. Another one to Bigler. She fields it cleanly and throws over to Clark at first again for back-to-back 6-3 putouts. Same result as the first inning. The first 2 hitters come up and ground it to Bigler at short, and same result. 1 out and then 2.
And again, I think this is just carrying over from game 1. JMU hit the ball very well in the first inning. Second inning didn't do so bad either, but went very, very cold late in the game, and seems like the Dukes have already started a little cold here.
Here's the freshman Taylor Newton really flashing the glove in game 1. Had 4 putouts in right field. Trying to start a little 2-out rally here and get on base, give her team a little spark.
Taylor Newton from Bradenton, Florida, went to Lakewood Ranch High School.
Chops this one down third base and out of play. It's now 1-1.
Just watching both of these teams play, it just amazes me in how well both teams are with as young of lineups as they have. Just shows you how both these programs are really starting to transform.
1-1 pitch is up and away for ball 2. 2-1 the count now on Newton.
Both these teams, this is actually a rematch. Both of these teams went to the CAA championship last year, and both of these teams also made it to the NCAA tournament.
Off-speed pitch, just a little bit off the inside corner, says home plate umpire Mark Gregman. Newton let that one go by. And Houston, you have to think that as great as these two teams are with the talent they have on the roster, age put to the side, that we're going to see good things from them as this season continues to chug along. As that ball is in there for strike 2. It's a full count now on the right fielder, Taylor Newton, letting a couple of pitches go by here, trying to make Taylor Perrone get those calls that she wants. Taylor to Taylor here. We'll see who comes out on top. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and chopped down the third baseline right to Kim Smith for the easy 5-3 putout. That'll do it here in the bottom of the second inning. JMU goes down 1, 2, 3, no runs, no hits, nobody left on base. as Hofstra holds on to that 1-0 lead. We'll be back to the top for the third right after this. You're watching JMU Softball on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
JMU students, do you want to live in Harrisonburg's premier college housing community? Live the luxurious lifestyle and check out Fox Hill Townhomes today. Fox Hill's furnished 4-bedroom, 2-bath townhomes offers spacious living with a bus service to and from JMU's campus. Located just off Port Republic Road, stop by today to reserve your spot for the 2014-15 school year. Fox Hill Townhomes is a proud partner of JMU Athletics. You are guaranteed to find your home away from home with Fox Hill Townhomes.
Top of the lineup will be coming at you here in the top of the third inning as Hofstra is leading 1-0 over JMU here in game number 2 of this doubleheader here this Saturday afternoon at Veterans Memorial Park. As it is a terrific day for baseball. The temperatures reaching nearly 70 degrees today, as we're expecting here in Harrisonburg a little bit of a cool off after these warm temperatures again, but then right after that, springtime looks like it's right around the corner. So Puxatawny Phil was about right with his prediction of 6 more weeks of winter, I'd have to say, especially here in the valley, as we've been hit hard a few times with snow, and I'm sure that Hofstra's had a little bit of the same up in their neck of the woods. As the top of the lineup, Chloe Fitzgerald, Rachel Senator, and Becca Bigler will come to the plate against Heather Kiefer, who's given up 1 run and 2 hits through her 2 innings of work. Has struck out 1 batter as well. So the infield drawn in here at first and third. The lefty Fitzgerald in the box. Quite the speedster on the pass as well. She lets that first pitch go by low. It's 1-0. Fitzgerald getting starts in left field in both games here today. The sophomore outfielder. She chops this one down to first. Jalen Ford takes it, throws it over to the second baseman covering Hannah Hayes, and she's in there in time, says first base umpire Art St. Germain. 1 away here in the top of the third. So Chloe Fitzgerald grounded, went 4-3 in her first at-bat, 3-4 in this at-bat. As she's 0 for 2 now in the afternoon, here comes Rachel Senator. Grounded out to short in her last at-bat. As she fouls this one off of her back foot as she takes a couple steps forward as she swings. Count at 0-1. Back-to-back left-handed hitters start the lineup for Hofstra, as then Becca Bigler in the third spot, the righty. One of the most potent sources of offense on the Pride team. Kiefer continues to shield that sun from her eyes as we're approaching 6 o'clock here in Harrisonburg. The 0-1 pitch gets the outside corner. Good location there from Kiefer. It's 0-2.
If you're listening right now, love to hear from you listening, where you're listening from, who you're rooting for, whether it be the Pride of Hofstra or the James Madison Dukes. You can feel free to tweet us, #Madazone.
0-2 count goes by just a little bit low. Home crowd here giving a few oohs and ahs, thinking that that one was at the knees. Not so, says Mark Gregman, so it's 1-2. It's number 4, Rachel Senator, faces a 1-2 pitch on the way from Heather Kiefer with 1 away here in the top of the third. She grounds this one to second. Hayes fields and throws to Jalen Ford for the 4-3 putout. 2 away here quickly for JMU.
Brings up the shortstop.
Becca Bigler coming up to the plate, was hit by a pitch in her last at-bat. Has also been very, very busy in the infield with her glove. These 4 Dukes have grounded out to shortstop in these first 2 innings. Here she is, the bat in her hand. Had the big 2-run home run in game 1. First pitch inside, it's 1-0.
Again, Bigler was hit by a pitch, wrist in her first at bat. See if that affects the way she swings the bat at all.
The 1-0 offering from Heather Kiefer is fouled back towards the Hofstra dugout. The count even now at 1-1. As we take a look at the schedule coming up for both of these teams. Have the doubleheader here today, and then both these squads will meet tomorrow for one game at 2 p.m. And then JMU will head for a Wednesday afternoon game at Virginia Tech, and then we'll be on the road at the College of Charleston next weekend.
For the Hofstra Pride, they're road warriors right now.
1-1 pitch down and inside, misses the plate. It's 2-1 now on shortstop Becca Bigler.
After tomorrow, the Hofstra Pride will have to go visit Rutgers again for a showdown on that Wednesday afternoon. 2:30 start time there, and again, it is a doubleheader at Rutgers. Then after that, next weekend, they go to Townsend for a Saturday doubleheader and a Sunday matchup. The game on Saturday beginning at 12, and first pitch on Sunday beginning at 1 with the Tigers.
Take a look, Coach Dean meeting with his catcher Erica Field to see what kind of signs are being given back and forth. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Off the plate inside, it's 3-1 now to Bigler. Bigler showing great patience at the plate after she was hit by that pitch in her first at bat. And taking a look at Coach Dean, he's elected to put the sweatpants on as the temperatures start to cool, as the shadows come out as well. 3-1 delivery on the way, high and inside for ball 4. It'll be the first walk of the afternoon issued by Heather Kiefer. So Bigler will take first with 2 outs, 1 runner on board, and that'll bring up Aaron Trippy.
Just watching Mickey Dean sit at the edge of the dugout, doesn't look very happy with the calls that he's been getting behind the plate from Mark Gregman.
Kiefer, the wrist constantly in action. Fouled this one off of the leg of Aaron Trippy. It's 0-1. See, when a pitcher does that, it's tough to pick up on what kind of grip that Kiefer might have when she puts the ball in the glove. Similar to what Ryan Dempster does when he pitches in the major leagues. He'll flip the glove a couple of times to throw off the batters in the box. Here's a 1-0 pitch. And that one gets past Erica Field. And then at first base, Becca Bigler wasn't sure if that was a foul ball or not. Kind of hesitated. Could have been an easy move for her to get to second base. As it stands, she'll stay at first. And the count 1-1 now on the catcher, Aaron Trippy. Not sure what happened there, but maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Bigler unable to pick up that ball off the bat.
Yeah, Bigler could have strolled into second like she was at the mall or something. She could have just walked on in there.
Now throw down to first base. Just getting back in time is Bigler. It was a called strike on that play, so it is a 1-ball, 2-strike count with 2 away here in the top of the 3rd inning. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors for Hofstra. No runs on 1 hit and no errors for the JMU Dukes. Kiefer comes set. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Chop down to first base. That'll get through the hole on the right side. Thinking 3 is Bigler, but she'll pull up at second base. It'll be a 2-out single for Aaron Trippy. She's on the board now for the first time this whole afternoon. Now 1 for 6 in the series.
Aaron Trippy hit that ball so hard that it got to Taylor Newton in right field very, very quickly. Taylor Newton fielded it, came up looking like she wanted to throw it to first, but Jalen Ford instead had moved closer to the middle of the infield as more of a cutoff man rather than covering the bag. Perfect execution of the hit and run.
Without a doubt, this ball is sawed off in the infield. An easy floater for Jalen Ford. She'll make the catch. I was about to say Hofstra was threatening there with runners on first and second, but unable to push any runs across here in the top of the 3rd. 2 runners left on 2 hits. Or excuse me, 1 hit, 1 walk, no errors, no runs scored. Still 1-0 heading to the bottom of the 3rd. You're watching the Madison HD Sportsnet production of JMU Softball, presented to you by the JMU Athletic Association Alumni Association.
JMU students, do you want to live in Harrisonburg's premier college housing community? Live the luxurious lifestyle and check out Fox Hill Townhomes today. Fox Hill's furnished 4-bedroom, 2-bath townhomes offers spacious living with a bus service to and from JMU's campus. Located just off Port Republic Road, stop by today to reserve your spot for the 2014-15 school year. Fox Hill Townhomes is a proud partner of JMU Athletics. You are guaranteed to find your home away from home with Fox Hill Townhomes.
Welcome back to the bottom of the third inning. JMU trailing here 1-0. Hofstra taking the lead in the second inning, courtesy of a Becca Bigler RBI double that scored Corinne Bailey. A Lacey Clark double, rather. Clark getting the start at first base. Today, in game number 2 of this doubleheader, for Hofstra, it'll be Taylor Perrone back out on the mound. She's given up just 1 hit. Has not struck out a batter, but she has sat down the Dukes. 1, 2, 3 in consecutive innings. Heading to the bottom of the third, it'll be Catherine Clavin, Madison Moran, and Mimi Morris. The 7, 8, 9 batters in Coach Dean's lineup. Clavin getting the start, as Houston and I touched on earlier in the ball game.
Again, number 15, Catherine Clavin, a utility player, 5'8", one of the 4 seniors on the team from Poquoson, Virginia. Went to Poquoson High School. So we'll see that Catherine Clavin can get her 103 batting average, a bit of a boost here.
Righty in the box, moving the neck around, making sure she gets loose before this first at bat here. Stands in. Here's the first pitch from Perrone. Swung on and grounded right to Bigler at short. She's busy this afternoon, and she fires cleanly over to first base. Another 6-3 put out. There's 1 away here in the bottom of the third.
That's 5 of the 7 outs have been to Becca Bigler at shortstop. That's a very busy afternoon.
You have to think that she might get a little bit tired out there at shortstop, but she seems to be doing just fine. I know that Taylor Perrone is very happy with her play as well.
She's not lost any lack of focus. Every throw has been on point for the most part.
And Madison Moran takes a pitch there on the outside corner, called strike 1. It's 0-1 to the third baseman for JMU. Oh, 1 pitch swung on and missed. That is 2 strikes now very quickly to Moran.
The thing that's changed in this game for JMU, they have not been very patient at the plate. They're swinging at first pitches very, very often, which is not always the best. And then the Hofstra defense, they haven't had to move.
As that ball's fouled off the leg of Moran, you're right, Houston. You think that the coaching staff of JMU would take the time to sit down and be like, hey, guys, you need to settle down out there. You're only down 1 run. It's still the bottom of the third inning. Still plenty of ball left to be played. Hofstra has had their opportunities once again here in game number 2. Only pushed that 1 run across. So JMU's still very much in this game. And it's still early, so we'll see what the rest has in store as the Shadows have moved halfway past the pitcher's mound. That ball is to third. Kim Smith comes up, fields, and fires to first for the out. 5-3 goes Madison Moran. 2 away here, and that'll bring up Mimi Morris.
Yeah, the JMU hitters just have to start working the count a little bit more than they are. They've yet to take a count full, and we're in the bottom of the third with 2 outs. So that's got to change. Got to start making Taylor Perrone work for the strikeouts and even the outs.
Another ball chopped down to third base, fielded by Smith and thrown on hard to first. Down go the Dukes. The first 9 batters for JMU that have come to the plate have all gone down swinging, except for the single for Erica Field. But she was caught stealing in the bottom half of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base for JMU. We'll head to the top of the fourth. Your score, 1-0, Hofstra on top. You're watching JMU Softball on Matazone HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
Instead of asking yourself, where did those 4 years go? Think about where the next 40 will take you. Be involved at Madison. Dukes from day one, alumni for life.
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Park. You're watching JMU softball presented by the JMU Alumni Association on Madison HD Sportsnet. As Houston mentioned, if you guys have any comments listening out there or want to give a shout out to any family members or friends, anyone on the team, feel free to do so. Tweet at JMU Sports. I'll be happy to read those for you. As JMU is down 1-0 heading to the top of the fourth. They took game number 1 5-3 behind a big performance from Jalen Ford on the mound. Went 6 1/3 innings, struck out 9 batters. It was Becca Bigler who tried to make a charge for Hofstra in that first game with that 2-run home run in the top of the seventh rather. As it stands right now, we'll have Corinne Bailey, Tori Rocha, and Lacey Clark coming to the plate. First pitch from Heather Kiefer to Corinne Bailey is a breaking ball that misses a little bit inside for ball 1.
But also, I was mentioning that the JMU defense, or excuse me, the Hofstra defense, not having them move very often. You take a look at the dirt out there, not very many divots in it. JMU's been hitting the ball right at the defense the entire game so far, and Hofstra's done the complete opposite. They're hitting it to where JMU isn't. And obviously, we know which strategy works best.
As Hofstra is reversing the tune of sorts that they had in the first game of not being able to really get those runners across the plate when they had their chances. The 1-1 pitch, beauty of a pitch there by Heather Kiefer, gets that one on the outside corner. It's now 1-2. She's ahead here. She's usually been ahead of hitters. She's just given up a few mistake pitches, as we've seen Lacey Clark capitalize on an 0-2 delivery for that RBI double back in the second. Now here's the 1-2 pitch. Check swing, and Bailey holds up. It's now 2-2.
Again, Bailey did double in the second, scored a run. It was off the RBI double by Lacey Clark. So already 2 extra base hits for Hofstra in this game. JMU had 1 in the entire last game, and I don't think Hofstra had a single one except for the home run.
2-2 pitch misses upstairs. It's now a full count on Corinne Bailey. It's the second time we've seen a full count occur here off of the arm of Heather Kiefer as Coach Dean wants to come out and talk to her. Not sure if he saw something he didn't like, just wants to make sure everything's okay. She's nodding, saying that it is. As we have a break here, Houston, we've talked about how both teams have been receiving votes for the top 25. JMU in one poll just sits one spot out, received 24 votes. So they're in 26 technically speaking, and then Hofstra received 18 votes, so they're 28th, so just 2 spots behind JMU. You'd have to think it's going to be a really fun and very interesting season to watch here in CAA play with these 2 squads.
Oh, honestly, it's going to be great, and we've seen both of these teams just really run through the conference last year. JMU was undefeated until they met Hofstra.
Payoff pitch, here it comes. That is swung on softly to short and fielded by Caitlin Sandy, an easy pop fly for out number 1 here in the top of the 4th.
And because JMU went undefeated for so long, they clinched the regular season title, but it still could not take care of business in the CAA championship.
And Hofstra, as dominant as they have been since they joined the conference in 2002, really knows how these teams are going to play, the strategies of the coaching staffs, can really execute a tremendous game plan day in and day out as that pitch gets away from Erica Field for ball 1.
Hofstra has won either a regular season or a postseason conference title for 22 straight seasons after winning the 2013 CAA tournament last year and earning its 2nd straight conference tournament title. Domination, dynasty, whatever you want to call it.
There are a lot of words that serve to describe that as the pitch is fouled away. It's now 1-1. Impressive being one of them, but then you think any word like that might not be enough to describe what this team has done.
Oh, they've been fantastic.
And they have a heck of a head coach as well in Bill Edwards. Edwards with a career record of 907 wins and 408 losses now after that loss in Game 1 today, but he's in the top 25 in career wins in collegiate softball in history. As the 1-1 pitch, curveball is in there for strike 2. It's 1-2. Heather Kiefer is ahead here of the second batter she's faced this inning, Tori Rocha. And speaking of Edwards, he is just one of 26 active Division I coaches with more than 870 career wins. I'd say that's a pretty impressive track record. The 1-2 pitch is chopped softly down to third, fielded by Moran. Over to Jalen Ford at first, and she'll make the putout to complete the 5-3 play. 2 away here in the top of the fourth, and that'll bring up Lacey Clark.
I can't imagine winning over 900 games. You know how many games that is? I mean, just coaching 900 games is let alone an accomplishment, much less winning 900 games.
How many sunflower seed shells piled up is that as well?
Oh my goodness. Probably fill up the infield.
Infield pushing the outfield as well. 2 away here in the top of the fourth. Here is Lacey Clark. She chops this one down to third. Moran busy at third base. Calm and collected, though. Fires over to first for the 5-3 putout. 1-2-3 go the Pride here in the top of the fourth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Still, they have a 1-0 lead. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth right after this. You're watching JMU Softball on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
I will no longer wait until next month or the month after to download this month's hottest song.
I will no longer be limited to downloading the trailer instead of the movie.
Yes. Yes, I do want to download the attachment.
More phones, more lines, and unlimited data with no surprises. Stand up and demand more. And tell us, wireless for the people. Switch now and we'll buy out your contract.
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Park. Heading into the bottom of the fourth inning. Hofstra on top 1-0, thanks to an RBI double by Lacey Clark back in the second inning. Grounded out to Madison Moran to end the top of the fourth. For JMU coming up to the plate, it'll be the top of the lineup. They've gone down 1-2-3 in a sense every inning except for the first inning. Erica Field did have a single but was caught stealing second base with Jalen Ford in the box. So it'll be Nikki Prince, Hannah Hayes, and Erica Field. Speaking of, Prince, number 4, the center fielder today in game number 2 for the Dukes, was also in center field for game number 1. And Houston, we talked about that inexperience in the outfield coming into play, but JMU has really fielded their positions well in left, center, and right. And you've seen the results. They've held Hofstra runners to just a double to singles, not letting them get that extra base. So good to see if you're a fan of the Dukes.
Been very fundamentally sound.
Here's the first pitch to Prince. She grounds this one down to third. There's Kim Smith, and she fires over to first base for the 5-3 putout. I swear I'm going to go to sleep singing, thinking 5-3 and 6-3.
5-3, 6-3, and swinging at the first pitch. I mean, Taylor Perrone is giving the JMU hitters a pitch they like, and JMU just a little too aggressive in my thoughts right now at the plate. I mean, aggressive is good, but to some point you got to start working the count and making Perrone work for these outs.
Hayes shows bunt, pulls it back. Here's a dribbler in between short and third, fielded by, guess who, Kim Smith, on to first base. Back-to-back putouts for Hofstra. There's 2 away here in the bottom of the fourth.
And again, another one of those first pitch swinging, and that didn't even look like a great pitch from here. It was definitely inside. She got it off just above the handle of the bat. Just wasn't the pitch that Hannah Hayes was exactly wanting.
See what Erica Field does here. She lets the first pitch go by in the inside corner for strike 1, something that we haven't seen too often. Interesting to note, a lot of the Hofstra fans who traveled down from New York for this game have stuck around behind the dugout on the third baseline for the Pride. Definitely a significant number of JMU fans in attendance as well for game 2 here. It was almost a sellout crowd for game number 1. The stands were packed.
Yeah, I don't think you could have found an empty seat if you wanted one. And there were still people lined up down both baselines in the aisles.
As that ball misses upstairs, it's 1-1 to the catcher for JMU, Erica Field. The even count pitch is on the outside corner. It's strike 2. She's down in the count. Talk about Taylor Perrone coming in with the 4-3 record. The record doesn't speak for the kind of performance she's put together. That one .31 ERA has gone down a little bit now. She's held the Dukes scoreless through 3. So this one is lined into right center field. That'll get down. It'll be the second hit on the afternoon for the Dukes. Here goes Erica Field heading for second. A bobble in right field, but Field holds up at second base. A 2-out double for the catcher for the Dukes. And here comes Jalen Ford up to the box with a chance to do some damage.
A chance to tie the game with a base hit just about anywhere in the ballpark. But that is only the second hit for the Dukes. Guess who has the first one? Erica Field. Single right back up the middle.
It looks like Coach Dean is about to make a lineup change. Might have a pinch hitter, or pinch runner, excuse me, number 8 for JMU.
That will be Carly Lemelin.
We'll see what Coach Dean has her do here.
Carly
And
Lemelin.
she will be pinch running for Erica Field out at second base.
She's a 5'5" freshman. Plays outfield. From Richmond, Virginia, went to Godwin. So putting some speed on the bases. Lemelin 1 for 1 on stolen base attempts this year, and he put her there as the pinch runner, hoping that Jalen Ford can put this ball in play somewhere.
First pitch misses high. It's ball 1. Ford being patient at the plate here, waiting for her pitch, trying to capitalize on it as well.
At some point, I'm surprised Mickey Dean just hadn't put on a restriction. Don't swing at the first pitch.
This ball is kind of sawed off in the infield. Ford hustles down the first baseline, will not beat out the throw. Great play by the second baseman, Tori Rocha. So JMU leaves a runner stranded at second base. Jalen Ford unable to get that run across. So the score is still at 1-0. We'll head to the top of the 5th. Right after this, JMU gets 1 hit, leaves 1 runner on, no runs scored. As you're listening to JMU Softball on Matazone HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get saucy at Quaker Steak and Lube. Feel the heat with new Sriracha Chicken Tacos, Island Jerk Chicken Sandwich, or Sweet Heat Curry Chicken Wrap. Now for a limited time.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Welcome back once again to Veterans Memorial Park here as JMU is taking on the Hofstra Pride in Game 2 of a doubleheader this afternoon. JMU taking Game 1 5-3 over the Pride, and JMU now trails 1-0 here in the top of the 5th. It's been a pitcher's duel here this afternoon as Taylor Perrone just absolutely dominating the Dukes except for Erica Field, who does have 2 hits. And you've got, for the Pride coming up, the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. You got Kim Smith, Chloe Fitzgerald, and Rachel Sendator headed to the plate for Coach Edwards' team. Smith back in her last at-bat, grounded out to third base.
Just the whole left side of the infield for both squads has been very busy this afternoon.
Extremely busy is an understatement. So we've seen Madison Moran, Caitlin Sandy, Becca Bigler, and Kim Smith all having field days out there, literally speaking.
It's definitely been a field type of day. They've been fielding the ball non-stop.
The shadows have moved past the pitcher's mound, so we'll see if Heather Kiefer is able to pitch even better now, as that ball is just fouled down the third baseline inside of the third base bag. It is 0-1 to Kim Smith.
Bill Edwards tried to say it was fair, but clearly looked like it got to the left of the bag.
And he, as we know, does not have the final say. It is not his call to make. He can vouch for it, though. The 0-1 delivery misses low and inside. It's ball 1. Now 1-1 count to the third baseman, Smith.
Pitch definitely got inside on Kim Smith. Did a good job holding up.
Very wide stance by Smith.
Her foot's just about outside of the batter's box.
There's that ball, almost the same location as the first pitch down the third baseline. Same result, it is foul.
But she's liking those inside pitches. She's getting around on them early.
Both teams, as you talked about, Houston, are being aggressive early in the pitch counts. It has paid off in 1 run for Hofstra, none for JMU. Just 5 hits combined between the two teams. 1 run on 3 hits for Hofstra, no runs and 2 hits for JMU. The 1-2 delivery is fouled back to the screen. Same count, same result. It'll stay 1-2. Kiefer gets the sign on the 1-2 pitch. Winds up, and here's the delivery as this one is hit to right field. Back goes Newton, and she makes the basket catch for the out. 1 away here. Good play by the freshman in right field. So you take a look at the replay here. What's the key in this kind of situation, Houston?
It's just great how she made the catch with that sunlight. The way it shifts right at the edge of the outfield grass. From shade to very bright sunny skies, and she's out there battling the sun. You see her now, just got the glove over her head.
Fitzgerald chops this one back to the pitcher's mound. Kiefer bottles it, and that little bobble is the difference as Chloe Fitzgerald is able to reach first. We'll see how they score this one here at Veterans Memorial Park. It is going to be an error on Kiefer. So an E1 allows Chloe Fitzgerald to reach first base with 1 away here in the top of the 5th.
That's a tough error, especially with the pitcher, the way you finish up. Having filled that ball, but again, I guess because it was getting the ball from her glove to her hand, when she bobbled it, should have made a play.
The first pitch, this one is bunted down at first, and they will not have a play. Hustling to third all the way, and they're going to get Chloe Fitzgerald trying to sneak around the base pass. Good heads-up play there. And how about had catcher for JMU hustle all the way down there. What a play.
Oh, that was very smart softball by Erica Field. The corners were in on the bunt. You had Jalen Ford coming in. You had the pitcher, Heather Kiefer, coming in. And you had Madison Moran, the third baseman, coming in. And then Erica Field, when she saw those 3 come in, she took off to third base, started to cover there. Did a good job covering. Good job by Kiefer once she realized she didn't have to play at first, where to go with the softball.
First pitch to Bigler's inside, and that last at bat, I was, considering how Chloe Fitzgerald had that stolen base in the first game, think she might take off there, and it looked like she had right on contact. Tried to go all the way around to third, didn't even pick up on where the ball was, and it cost her there. As another wide stance here for Becca Bigler. She skies this one into center field. Should be an easy play for Nikki Prince. She makes the catch. It'll be an F8. As Hofstra will leave 1 runner on base. An interesting turn of events. Good heads-up defense by the Dukes. No runs on no hits. 1 error and 1 left on. Score still 1-0. It's a big pitcher's duel here at Veterans Memorial Park heading to the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to JMU Softball on that is on HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get saucy at Quaker Steak and Lube. Feel the heat with new Sriracha Chicken Tacos, Island Jerk Chicken Sandwich, or Sweet Heat Curry Chicken Wrap. Now for a limited time.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Back here at Veterans Memorial Park for inning number 5, the bottom half that is, as Taylor Perone heads back out onto the mound. Still 1-0 our score here. Hofstra on top of JMU in the second conference game both of these teams have played. JMU officially 1-0 in conference play, Hofstra 0-1. As JMU started 25 of their first 29 games away from this field here. As we noted in the beginning, played a lot of tournaments away, most recently out in Hawaii. I think they might have wanted to stay there a little bit. It's a lot warmer out there, I'm sure, than it is here, except the temperatures are being a little bit more friendly recently here in Harrisonburg, as we're almost touching 70 today at the highest point. And on the baseball diamond, we'll have Caitlin Sandy, Taylor Newton, and Catherine Clavin coming up to the plate.
Well, I'm not sure what was hotter in Hawaii, the JMU softball team or the temperatures. Both were pretty hot, I should say.
Yeah, swinging bats very well in the first game was JMU, playing good defense here. They're trying to get those bats going here in game number 2. As Sandy takes her spot in the right-handed side of the box. Here's the first pitch. Ball bounces in the dirt. She'll let it go by for ball 1. Good eye there by the senior shortstop. Grounded out to Becca Bigler in her first at-bat. Shortstop to shortstop. Very unassuming stance in the box. Right back to Bigler goes the ball. She'll throw off of 1 foot to get the out. Another 6-3 put out. There's one away here in the bottom of the 5th.
The right side of the infield has only made 1 put out for the Hofstra Pride defense, and that was when Jalen Ford granted out to second baseman Tori Rocha.
What we should do is just close our right eyes and look out the left. It'll completely eliminate the right side of the field because, as you mentioned, it's almost been non-existent today.
It hasn't. It's been all about the left side.
And here's Taylor Newton. She grounded out to third in her last at-bat. She fouls this one down the right side. Okay, maybe we can't close our eyes just yet, but it's 0-1 to the right fielder for JMU. To get a look at the JMU dugout there, they're right up on the gates, looking for their team to spark some offense here in the later portion of this game. Perone taking a long time between pitches here. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Off-speed pitch well off the plate. It's an even count now, 1-1. 200 down the left field line, 200 down the right field line here at Veterans Memorial Park. 210 out to center. Another off-speed pitch, a little bit farther or closer to the plate. Still a bit high. It's 2-1.
But this has got to be one of the most work counts that Perone has had to deal with.
It is, and another ball goes by upstairs. It's 3-1. So Newton trying to do her best to get on base and give her team a chance with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning, trailing 1-0. Just 2 hits so far for JMU, both off the bat of Erica Field.
The only time accounts got to 3-1 today was again Taylor Newton, and now it's her last at bat.
This one hit deep to center field. How far will this one go? Bounces off the roof. It is a solo home run for Taylor Newton. The Dukes have tied the game 1-1.
Wow, that ball just jumped off the bat. Taylor Newton got all of it. She liked the pitch she got. It was in the zone. She was ahead in the count 3-1. Liked what she got. She sent it out of the ballpark, off the field house in center field.
Sort of prophetic how we talked about the dimensions of Veterans Memorial Park right during that at bat, and then Taylor Newton must have caught an ear of what we were saying. That pitch was a fastball right over the middle of the plate. You can't let those go by, and especially in this situation. We have a ball game here, tied up 1-1.
She said 210. I hit that ball 250.
We'll see what Catherine Clavin has in store. She lines this one out of play down the first baseline for strike 1. 0-1 to the designated player in game 2 for Coach Dean.
So now, that's the 3rd hit for the Dukes. Lone run. Taylor Newton, lone RBI, of course. Erica Field has the 2 other hits for the Dukes.
Yeah, apparently there is some offense going on today aside from anyone with the last name of Field, so at least on the JMU side of things, Hofstra with those 4 hits and the 1 run. As now we're going to have a meeting between Aaron Trippi and Taylor Perone. Just trying to talk about how they want to handle things here. As we're set up for a good late inning finish here in game number 2 of the doubleheader before JMU heads back out on the road to take on Virginia Tech. Well, one more game with the Pride tomorrow afternoon. That game will have an audio feed here for you on Madazone HD Sportsnet. Then they'll head out on the road down to Blacksburg, and then from there down to the College of Charleston. So they're heading south, trying to get away from anything that might think about coming here Tuesday, weather-wise. 1-1 pitch is low and outside. It's 2-1 now on the designated player, Clavin, who, as we've talked about, doesn't get very many starts, just getting her 7th here this afternoon. Grounded out to shortstop in her first at bat.
Mickey Dean probably really trying to jumpstart that average. Get her some confidence.
So this ball is hitting to left center field. Back goes the center fielder. Over her head, up against the wall. That'll be a double for Clavin. She'll hold up at second base. Rachel Senator gave chase, stretched the glove out, but could not get any leather on that end of it. So it'll be a stand-up double, back-to-back hits for JMU. They are seeing the ball very well off Taylor Perrone.
And that's exactly what Mickey Dean wanted. Knew Clavin had a little bit of power in that bat, a little bit of speed in the swing. So we get a hold to that baseball, put it well over the center fielder, Rachel Senator's head.
And we're having another pinch runner here. We're going to let you know who that is in just a second. Single digits, trying to get it, looks like number 9 for JMU. That'll be Brittany Jeans, if I see it correctly, listed as a pitcher on the roster. Yeah, it is Brittany. So she'll head out to second base with one away here. So Clavin comes out.
Yeah, Brittany Jeans, 5'8", senior, from Camano Island, Washington. Went to Stanwood High School.
Jeans on the year has appeared in 12 games. This will be number 13. Has scored 5 runs, so she has come on in pinch situations.
And for the Hofstra Pride, they're going to have a new pitcher coming into the circle. That'll be number 36, Maggie Hawkins, 5'8" sophomore from Easton, Maryland. The Easton High School. Hawkins is the designated player for Hofstra, so she'll get to keep her spot in the batting order. And Hawkins has not pitched this year. She does not have any stats to go off of pitching-wise, so no idea what we'll be getting from Hawkins in the circle.
You take a look at Taylor Perrone's numbers. She goes 4 1/3 innings pitched, gives up 1 run, that lone home run to Taylor Newton. Gave up 4 hits, did not strike out or walk any batters today. Sort of an average day for Perrone. Was absolutely dominating in the first 4 innings, gets into the 5th and runs into a bit of trouble. As now the game is tied. JMU has 1 runner at second base. Brittany Jeans is a pinch runner after Catherine Clavin gave a charge to a ball that got over Rachel Senator's head. JMU knocking at the door, trying to take lead here in the 5th inning. With Madison Moran coming to the plate, has started every single JMU game this year. Has 5 RBIs, 1 home run. Definitely has an RBI opportunity here. It's definitely one of those momentum builder series. If you're able to take even 2 out of 3 against the Pride of Hofstra Houston, that's something Coach Dean and his squad really wants to build upon as they head into conference play, looking to dethrone Hofstra after winning the conference and regular season championships 3 years in a row.
Especially since you don't have to play them again. If you did, it would be in the conference tournament.
They were swept in all 5 games they played against the Pride last year. First pitch from Hawkins, misses down low. It's a 1-0. That, talk about the lone series being here in Harrisonburg this year. They went up to Hempstead, New York last year, JMU. They were nearly shut out in every single game. Lost 3 there. Lost in a quarterfinal game, and then in the championship game to Hofstra as well. That pitch is right over the heart of the plate for strike 1. It's now an even count. There it is. We've got Yahtzee on the board again. We saw it last game.
Yep. Number 11 is at the plate. Madison Moran, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
So Maggie Hawkins looking to keep her team on board. Here's the 1-1 pitch, fouled back to the screen. Down in the count now, 1-2.
Again, Moran, a .234 hitter entering the day. She is grounded out to third base over there. Kim Smith has been very busy. Moran from Taylor Mill, Kentucky to Holy Cross.
There's Mark Gregman going down to talk to Bill Edwards. And now Edwards and Dean having a little bit of a chat. Not sure what's going on down there. It's friendly. Nothing of the bitter sorts here as they're laughing as they walk away. We're back to softball here. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just a little bit inside. He thought that Home plate umpire Mark Gregman was going to give Hawkins the call there. So you heard some of the Pride faithful cheer, but just a 2-2 count now on the third baseman for JMU. Moran 0 for 1 on the day. There's a 2-2 pitch. That one off the plate on the other side. It's outside for a full count now.
And this is the first full count of the afternoon. So JMU finally starting to slow things down at the plate and work the count.
First batter that Maggie Hawkins has faced, and that ball bounces in the dirt for ball 4. So a 1-2 count on Madison Moran. She works 3 straight balls. Tremendous patience at the plate. She's on first base now. Runners on first and second with just 1 out. Here's Mimi Morris.
And this is where you can turn things around.
It's also the first walk on the afternoon JMU has received, after Taylor Perrone did a great job of preventing those from happening. Morris 0 for 1. Tries to drop down a bunt. Goes back to the backstop. Nothing in 1-2, the left fielder.
Again, only 1 out, so if you can just get 1 run out of the situation and take the lead in the same inning that you score your first run, you know it's got to be a big confidence booster.
Their friend M.O. is trying to stay on their side. At least the Dukes want to have it that way. The 0-1 pitch is chop swing foul. It's now 0-2. Maggie Hawkins had Madison Moran in a 1-2 count. Gave up 3 straight balls. She has Morris here down 0-2. See what she responds with here. The righty-lefty matchup. Here's the 0-2 pitch.
Misses.
Only a little bit outside. That's ball 1.
The Hofstra fans thought they were going to get the corner call there.
It's tough to tell from our angle. We've got the feed here and then from our view as well. It's always tough to paint a picture of what's going on down there around the plate. Try to do our best, though. So another 1-2 count. Here comes Hawkins with the delivery. Swung on and chopped down the third baseline. They'll go for the sure out at first and get it. So it'll be a 5-3 ground out for Mimi Morris, but a productive one at that, as she's able to advance both runners from first to second and second to third. So it's Brittany Jeans at third base, Madison Moran at second, and Nikki Prince at the top of the lineup coming up for the Dukes.
I think that was the plan of the at-bat, just the way she had that slap style. She's trying to put it down the third base side, advance the runners. Now you have 2 runners in scoring position.
This ball is fouled out of play. Brace yourselves, it'll be loud. Oh, must have gotten just out of the concourse.
So back to the top of the order, Nikki Prince. She's grounded out to short and third base. If she can find somewhere in between, get that hole, should be all right.
Below the kneecaps on the outside corner of the plate. It's usually a ball, and it is. It's a 1-1 count now on the center fielder, Nikki Prince. JMU has a huge opportunity here to blow the doors open and take a 1 or 2 run lead with a base hit. Tied 1-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1-1 already across. This ball is blooped into center field over a Senator, and she will make the catch, so JMU leaves runs on bases. But they do score 1 on the Taylor Newton home run to tie the ball game at 1. Heading into the top of the 6th inning, it's 1-1. JMU has tied it up. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to JMU Softball and Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association. We're back here for more action at Veterans Memorial Park. Heading into the top of the 6th inning, JMU has knotted things up at 1 at the home run from Taylor Newton. The right fielder today in Coach Dean's lineup put a charge into a ball out in center field. Hit off, if you see the 3 stacks on the left side of the roof out there, she hit it right behind the middle one, right off the top of the fence, and it was an impressive swing to watch. And then JMU would leave runners on second and third to end the inning. But they've made it a ball game as Hofstra coming back to the plate. They'll send up their 4, 5, 6 hitters, Aaron Trippy, Maggie Hawkins, and Corinne Bailey. So, heading back out onto the mound for JMU is Heather Kiefer. Kiefer, so far the afternoon, has gone 5 innings. He's given up 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Dukes.
And there was a replay of that home run that John was talking about.
It's an absolute charge put into the ball by Newton out in right field. Great play as Kiefer fires that one inside for ball 1. Looks a little bit tired out there on the mound, but definitely not showing it in their arm. She continues to push gas across the plate. 1-0 pitch is drilled in the left field between the gloves of Madison Brand and Caitlin Sandy. It'll be a leadoff single for Aaron Trippy. She's on the base for the second time in game number 2. Went 0 for 4 in the first game. Now 2 for 3 here in game number 2.
One thing the Hofstra Pride has done a great job of doing is getting leadoff hits, not necessarily in this game. That's the first leadoff hit of the day for the Pride, but in game 1 they did a good job of getting on base with that leadoff hitter. And it's pretty easy to be successful when you can get that leadoff man on. It just completely changes the mindset.
First pitch in this at-bat goes by for ball 1. You're right, Houston. It's things like that where JMU gets that run across. And for Hofstra, they get the leadoff single. They're able to get another hit here. Momentum completely swings back into their favor as that ball is swung on and missed by Hawkins. It's 1-1. And especially when you're in such a low-scoring affair here in somewhat of a pitcher's duel, any little piece of contact that advances a runner is crucial.
Yeah, we'll definitely start to see some strategies play out as we're in the 6th inning of a 7-inning affair.
So this ball's hitting the left field as well. A tremendous catch by Mimi Morris as she fires back into second base. Great range out there for the freshman left fielder.
She got on that horse that Taylor Newton was riding earlier and rode it to our right, her left. Made a great catch.
They must be going to the same barn to borrow the same horse because they're both showing off the wheels out there in the corner outfield positions as kind of a pinch runner here. Number 12 coming out for Hofstra. That'll be Alyssa Cazzola.
Again, it was one of those things. After last season, a little bit worried losing the entire outfield. But the freshmen, they've stepped up and played well.
Cazzola, this is the 4th game she's appeared in. 0 for 2 in the bats. She won't have to worry about that right now. She has scored 1 run. Cazzola, the sophomore outfielder out of LaGrangeville, New York, and Arlington High School. Bats right, throws right. We got the lefty in the box, Corinne Bailey. First pitch to Bailey is skied in the back of the infield, and Caitlin Sandy will call off, charging Nikki Prince to make the catch. An innocent fly out to short. There's 2 away here, so talk about Hofstra getting that leadoff batter on base. JMU responded very well. Heather Kiefer locking down on the mound, not allowing any other contact to result in any base hits.
It's like it's a highlight of the last game. To be honest, they could get that leadoff person on, but then could not do anything after that.
Here's Tori Rocha. She's been a good source of offense today for the Pride. First pitch slightly inside for ball 1. 0 for 2 in this game, but did some damage in the last game, did Rocha.
Rocha, she got on base every time at the plate. She walked twice and then singled and scored a run in the 7th off of that home run by Becca Bigler.
This ball switches sides of the plate and bounces in the dirt. It's outside for ball 2. 2-0 on the second baseman.
Rocha from Rehoboth, Massachusetts.
Kiefer comes set and fires. This ball is slapped down the third baseline off the top of the dugout, out of play. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. 1-1 our score. 1 run on 4 hits. No errors for the Pride. 1 run on 4 hits and 1 error for the Dukes. It's JMU with the white tops, the purple lettering and trim, purple pants. Kiefer gets the sign. Here's a 2-1 pitch. This one grounded softly to second base. Should be an easy play, and it is. 4-3. Put out Hannah Hayes to Jalen Ford. Hofstra will leave 1 runner on base. They'll get 1 hit, no runs. Just that runner left on, and the score stays at 1. Tied heading into the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back for more softball right after this on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
I knew going to JMU would be more about just getting.
It was the place for me.
I feel as though that I'm a part of the institution.
You will never meet a stranger. Everyone is always willing to help you out and to help you through your graduate experience here at James Madison University.
The graduate school here is a great choice.
The education that you receive is top-notch.
It's one of the best in the country. And from here, everything is possible.
Hannah Hayes, Erica Field, and Jalen Ford set to do battle here against the new pitcher for Hofstra. Well, new as in last inning, but Maggie Hawkins back out on the mound for her second inning of work. Hayes on the afternoon 0 for 2. Erica Field 2 for 2. She's had 2 hits, a double and a single. Jalen Ford looking for her first hit as well. As Hannah Hayes strolls up to the box, the sophomore infielder from La Crosse, Virginia, and Kinston Forest High School. Got the start in the first game as well. As the meeting on the mound disperses, and in the outfield as well. It's like a game of hide and seek. 3-2-1 scram. Here we go. We're ready for softball. He's the righty in the box, the right-handed throwing Hawkins on the mound. Here's the first delivery in the bottom of the 6th. Shows bunt, gets it down. Fielded cleanly by Hawk as that ball gets away, and smart play there by Hannah Hayes diving back into first. So we'll see how that one's scored. That throw just wide pulled second baseman Tori Roach off the bag. Still awaiting Fisher scoring. As you'll see here, the bunt dropped down. Good play by Hawkins. It is going to be an error on the pitcher, Hawkins. E1, she fielded it cleanly, and then Tori Roach tried to reach out to get the ball. Could not. So a runner on first here for the Dukes. Hofstra did the same in the top of the 6th. We'll see what JMU does with their first runner on. Here is Erica Field. That ball is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. The first error in the afternoon for Hofstra, 1 for JMU as well. Field, another stolen base attempt. That ball is just wide of the bag, and Hannah Hayes is in safely. For Hayes, that is her 9th stolen base on the year. She's 9 for 12. Got a great jump, throw a little wide that assisted her in her efforts.
Yeah, that bad throw helped her out a little bit.
So even though she's on second base, that runner, it is Maggie Hawkins' responsibility after the throwing error that she committed. Erica Field trying to go 3 for 3. She puts a charge into this one, but that will get out of play down the third baseline. You know what happened the last time one went really far foul for Hofstra. The very next pitch, Becca Bagler drilled one out to left center field.
So if Erica Field can attempt to do the same thing, straighten it out a little bit, and that ball is out of here. No doubt about it.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one right at the lettering, but it's high, says home plate umpire Mark Gregman. The count evens up at 2-2.
Maybe that was the pitch to send out of here.
Could have been, but
up in the zone a little bit.
With no outs, talk about the patience. Jamie showing it here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and hit to right center field. Back it goes. Off of the bottom side of the wall. We'll see. Mickey Dean's going to send Hannah Hayes. Here she comes. Throw at the plate is not in time. She slides head first safely. Erica Field will be out trying to stretch that into a triple. However, Jamie takes the lead 2-1 on the RBI double by Erica Field. She's 3 for 3 on the afternoon.
Yeah, she got a hold to that one. Easily a double. She didn't try and break for third until the throw was made home. She just a little too late on the break. I think she could have made the jump a little bit quicker.
Smart play there also by Hannah Hayes, waiting until the ball got down, then taking off for third base. Slides in head first. Now Jalen Ford is up. The base is clear and 1 away. JMU with a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Breaking ball down and inside. It's 1-0. So it will be a base hit for Erica Fields. She's 3 for 3 on the afternoon. Now 5 hits for the Dukes, counting for their 2 runs. And it is going to be an earned run for Maggie Hawkins. So for Hawkins, so we don't have any records here. Can't tell you how many runs she's given up on the year, but Jalen Ford with a 2-0 count. Looking for possibly a fastball here. She gets it, and it's outside, 3-0.
I would say that was her first run given up. Just because we don't have any stats, I assume that means she has not pitched at all this season.
3-0 pitch, taking all the way, Jalen Ford. She lets it go by for a strike. It's now 3-1 on the first baseman for the Dukes. Ford grounded out to shorten her first at-bat back in the 2nd. And grounded out weakly to second base in her 2nd at-bat in the 4th. Here she is in the 6th. Ball's inside and low. She will take her base. 0 for 2 in the afternoon, but this time draws a walk. She's on board with 1 away, and here comes Caitlin Sandy.
No downside to drawing a walk. You force the pitcher to throw more pitches. Plus, I mean, it's just like a hit in this case. You just have to get on base any way you can.
We take a look at Jalen Ford's on-base percentage at .362. Well above her batting average of .272, so she has drawn those walks. She leads the team now with 11 walks on the year. And guess what? Second in the team in walks now with 10. The person right behind her in the lineup, Caitlin Sandy.
There is a pinch runner.
Is number 33 for JMU, Caitlin Biafra. Biafra is not taken off. It's a ball to Sandy, 1-0.
It's Caitlin Biafra. She's a 5'4" freshman catcher from Stanley, Virginia. Went to Page County, so not too far from Harrisonburg.
Just about 45 minutes down the road, another pitch that just misses as the sirens go by out past right field. Hope everything's all right wherever that SUV is headed. There's been 6 pitches, 5 balls, as there's pitch 7, another ball. So Maggie Hawkins struggling to locate the zone right now. JMU is taking advantage of it. She's gotten behind 2 straight batters, 3-0 here. If you're Hofstra, this is not the kind of transition you wanted in the later part of the game. Here's a 3-0 pitch. That one's right at the belt for strike 1.
She acted like she was going to toss the bat and make her way to first, but that was a pretty pitch. I think it was so pretty it stunned her.
See if Hawkins is able to collect herself and come back with another strike here. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Oh, did it again. Another pitch that was right on the outside of the zone. Full count.
But beginning in the 5th inning, it's really when JMU started to take advantage of these counts and work them a little bit better, and their opportunities definitely turned around.
Line into left field. That will be down in front of Chloe Fitzgerald. It'll be a 1-out single for Caitlin Sandy. Now runners on first and second. Jalen Ford draws the walk. Caitlin Sandy gets the single. Taylor Newton comes up, and Houston, we know what she did last time with the bat in her hands. Drilled one out to center field.
She smoked it. She got all of it. Ball's just left hanging over the plate. She put it over the fence.
To have a hard time thinking she's going to see any pitches in the middle of the plate this time around.
She might be looking at a new pitcher. We'll see. Bill Edwards is going out to the circle to talk to Maggie Hawkins. We'll see if he decides to take the ball or just try and slow the pace of the game down. There is some action in the bullpen for the Hofstra Pride. I'm sure he's telling his pitcher right now, just don't give her anything over the zone right now. Is 1 out. Pride trail by 1. You don't really want to get another base runner on, but if you do, a walk wouldn't be the end of the world. It loads the bases with 1 out, so play at any bag. Of course, that bag should be home in this case if the bases did get loaded. You also have a double play opportunity on anything in the infield.
Taylor Newton slowly double taps the plate. She's in the box, the right-handed hitter. 1 for 2 on the afternoon, a ground out, and that big solo home run that tied the game. First pitch fastball is outside for ball 1. JMU still being patient at the plate. That's one of the trends here. After about halfway through the game, we talked about it. Now all of JMU just really started letting pitches go by, and it's paid off big time for them as they have the lead now 2-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. This pitch is hit to right center field. Has she done it again? Look at what she's done. A 3-run home run for Taylor Newton. She has put her team ahead 5-1. How about that?
Taylor Newton single-handedly right now is beating the Hofstra Pride. She has came up big and just got all of it every time she's came to the plate. Huge home run for Taylor Newton, and that could really turn this game around.
As you take a look at the swing here, she hustles as Rachel Senator gives up on it, just clears the fence to the right of the building out there. And if you're a Duke fan, you're feeling really good. If you're a Hofstra fan here in attendance or listening back home, it's a couple of mistake pitches that have really cost the Pride here, as Taylor Newton has not missed on those 2 swings.
And that was the first pitch of the at-bat. She just saw, or excuse me, second pitch after the ball 1, but she saw what she liked. Ball was left over to the zone. She got a hold to it. And I'm sure that's exactly what Bill Edwards did not want to happen. When he went out there, he probably told her, don't put anything on the zone, and it's exactly what happened. Well, it looks like number 20, Taylor Perrone, is back in the circle for the Hofstra Pride.
And Perrone came out after pitching 4 1/3, giving up just 1 run, the first home run to Taylor Newton in 4 hits. So Hawkins comes in, goes a full inning officially, and gives up 4 runs. So not the kind of outing she wanted as her first official one for the season, but it is what it is. So Hawkins gets 1 inning officially pitched, gives up 4 runs.
So 5-1, that's the same score the last game ended in. But for some reason, I have a feeling that we're not done seeing runs being scored here. Whether it's by the Pride or the JMU Dukes, I think we might see a couple more. And Hofstra is certainly going to make it interesting.
And Hawkins also gave up 3 hits, a single, double, and that 3-run home run. So here's number 15, Catherine Clavin. She's in the box. She hit a double her last at-bat and was left stranded at third. Here's the first pitch from Perrone. This one is lined right to the second baseman, Tori Rocha, so that's the kind of play that Hofstra wanted. There's now 2 away. It seems like forever ago that JMU had that first out in the inning on that stretch play.
It's been quite a while. 6 JMU batters have came to the plate. Madison Moran is number 7.
Here's the first pitch to Moran. And that one gets past third baseman Kim Smith, who has been so sure-handed at third base today. Would have been a tough play that the ball hopped just a few feet in front of her glove. See how they score that one there.
I would say that's going to be a hit.
That ball ate her up. It is going to be a hit for Madison Moran, her first on the afternoon. Now 1 for 2 with a walk, and that'll bring up Mimi Morris.
So that's 7 hits now for the Dukes, surpassing the offensive production last game.
And they had those 7 hits last game. Hofstra had 8, so JMU has matched that total. They've also matched the run category, and we'll see if Hofstra is able to turn the tides again in the top of the 7th inning. But JMU's positioned themselves very well to take this doubleheader and at least win the series. If they get the win today, we'll see what happens in game number 3 tomorrow. A matinee affair at 3 p.m.
But if they can hold on for the victory, that would give the Hofstra Pride their first conference loss since 2006. It's quite a long time without losing a series.
That is right. So, excuse me, that game will be at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Here's the one-strike pitch. This one fouled away off the beam and caught by Kim Smith, but it is a foul ball. Down in the count quickly is Mimi Morris. Morris looking for her first hit on the afternoon. She's trying to join the parade. Houston, it's the 6th inning in Game 2. It was the first inning in Game 1 where Jamie just really took control of things. She chops this one to short. There is Becca Bigler, and she will fire to first for the out. Another 6-3 put-out, but JMU does not go down quietly. They score on 3 hits. They score 4 runs. Nobody left on base. The big 3-run home run by Taylor Newton could be the difference in this ball game. We'll see. JMU with a 5-1 lead. We'll head to the top of the 7th. You're listening to JMU Softball, Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
I knew going to JMU would be more about just getting a master's.
I just knew that it was the place for me.
I feel as though that I'm a part of the institution.
You will never meet a stranger. Everyone is always willing to help you out and to help you through your graduate experience here at James Madison University.
The graduate school here is a great choice.
The education that you receive is top-notch.
It's one of the best in the country. And from here, everything is possible.
Back here for the top of the 7th inning as JMU explodes on offense in the bottom of the 6th. A 3-run home run by Taylor Newton does the majority of the damage as they have jumped out to a 5-1 lead after the game was tied at 1 through 5 innings of play. And Heather Kiefer looking to come out here and get the win. She has gone strong through 6. Here she comes out in the 7th. As JMU left 1 runner on base in that last inning. And the lineup for Hofstra, leading it off, will be Lacey Clark in the 8th spot, followed by Kim Smith in the top of the lineup and Chloe Fitzgerald.
So 8, 9, and 1 spots for the Pride.
Is now the only person who has to deal with the sun really is Nikki Prince out there in center field. Streaking shadows and sunlight painting the grass in the outfield. Here's the first pitch. Low and inside for ball 1 to Lacey Clark. Clark with the lone RBI doubles, accounting for the only run for Hofstra so far in Game 2.
Out of all the batters due up, if you're looking for a long ball, Hofstra fans, not saying it's not likely, but in the 8, 9, and 1 spots, those girls have no home runs combined. All the power is coming from the middle of the order. 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Clark fouling that ball off down the left field line, but yeah, sometimes you have to play small ball when that is the case, unless somebody decides to pull out the big stick and really crush one.
If Hofstra can get to the middle lineup, it's a possibility. Hawkins and Trippy both have 3 home runs apiece this year.
And did she go around? No, she did not, says first base umpire Art St. Germain, so it's a 2-1 count on Clark, the first baseman today for the Pride.
Kavern Bailey has 2 home runs on the year, and Becca Bigler has 1 solo shot as well.
The 2-1 pitch just a little bit outside. It's now 3-1. Heather Kiefer steps off the box, trying to collect herself, trying to secure the victory for her team. JMU trying to move to 21-9 on the season and 2-0 in CAA play. Got win number 1 earlier this afternoon. 3-1 pitch is grounded to third. Moran fields and throws over to Jalen Ford at first for the first put out here in the top of the 7th. 2 outs away from a sweep of the doubleheader.
Taylor Newton already has 4 RBIs this game. It's not good enough for the team record, which is 6. Again, that's held by Morgan Heath. She had 6 against Middle Tennessee back on March 8th, 2013.
And Kim Smith fouls away the first pitch that she sees. It is 0-1 on the third baseman.
It does put her total up for the season up to 17, good enough for second behind Erica Field.
As this ball is lined foul, says home plate umpire Mark Gregman down the third baseline. Good effort there by Madison Moran, laying out, trying to get it. Would not have mattered, as the ball would have still been foul, even if she had put a glove on it. It's an 0-2 count now. Heather Kiefer, after falling behind 3-1 to Lacey Clark, is ahead of Kim Smith here, 0-2. She settles in. She gets the sign from Erica Field. Here's the pitch. This one hit into the left center field gap, and that is going to get to the wall past the glove of Mimi Morris. Should be a stand-up double, and it is for Kim Smith. She's now 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Don't write Hofstra off yet. They're trying to get something brewing here in the top of the 7th.
After watching all the March Madness games, I don't think you can ever Sharpie anything in March until the very end.
You had said you had gotten Stephen F. Austin to advance in that game, and they most certainly did against VCU. One of those games that really went down to the wire at the end there. I'm sure the same thing will be happening in the women's tournament as well.
Yeah, it's been unreal, the parity in the tournament this year.
Easy play there for Hannah Hayes over at second base. 4-3 goes Chloe Fitzgerald. Does advance Kim Smith down to third on the play, so we'll get her over. But there are 2 outs now. JMU 1 out away from getting that second win in conference play, and something you really want to do against Hofstra, who you can guarantee you will not continue to have games like they've had so far today in this series for the rest of the season. They're just too good of a team with too much great chemistry and knowledge of the game to perform this way for the rest of the year. Here's the first pitch, and this one's grounded short. This could be it, and it is. JMU sweeps the doubleheader. They'll have a Game 3 tomorrow to see what happens there, but they've technically won the series. The ground out's in the game. Caitlin Sandy to Jalen Ford. So Rachel Senator tried to beat it out. Does not, and that'll be the game. 5-1, JMU takes it. 5 runs on 8 hits and 1 error for the Dukes. 1 run on 6 hits and 1 error for Hofstra. So we'll take a look back at stats right after this and let you know what all took place this afternoon. You're watching JMU softball on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
Instead of asking yourself, where did those 4 years go? Think about where the next 40 will take you. Be involved at Madison. Dukes from day one, alumni for life.
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Park. JMU has taken both games of the doubleheader. First game score 5-3, and then 5-1 here in game number 2. Hofstra got out to the early lead thanks to a Lacey Clark double in the top of the second inning, but that would be the majority of the offense they got for the rest of the day. JMU comes up in the bottom of the 5th, get a solo home run from Taylor Newton, and then in the bottom of the 6th, with 1 out, Newton comes up with runners on first and second on the first pitch she sees, drills 1 out to right center field, putting her team up mostly for good as that 3-run home run. As you'll take a look here, or no, that's the first run of the day. Jalen Ford getting that double there. But JMU does a great job on offense today. As we talked about Houston, they were a little bit impatient at the plate to begin the game, but then they really turned the afterburners on after those home runs by Taylor Newton and really took charge. As you see the first home run there for Newton, a solo shot off the top of the roof in center field. But that was the difference in the ball game. It was a good pitcher's duel in the second game, but JMU really turned it on later on in the game.
Yeah, JMU definitely turned it on, and here's right when they start to turn it on. You see the ball bounce off the wall. That was Erica Fields' double to get things going in the 6th inning for the JMU Dukes. And then here's Taylor Newton once again going deep with the long ball for her 2nd time. Just to the right of the same field house she knocked her first one off of. And that's where everything came to rest. She finished with 4 RBIs. Again, not a team record. That is 6, but still a very good game. Have 4 RBIs for Taylor Newton. Freshman is starting to come along, and all the freshmen are playing great. You look at the starting lineup, and just about every person in the starting lineup is a freshman. You got Nikki Prince, Taylor Newton, Madison Rand, Mimi Morris. That's 3 right there, and that's all the entire outfield, honestly, is freshmen, and they play great. JMU's can continue to keep building. I like that they carried over what they did in Hawaii. They didn't come back home and have any lag, especially after getting a big win. You usually see teams kind of drop off a little bit, but certainly not the case for JMU. They're here and ready to go. And as the season continues to grow, it's a little bit of a shaky start for them, especially at home. They've already lost to Kent State here, but these wins, very big to beat Hofstra. So now they have to continue to keep doing that. And I think if they can come out here tomorrow and get that win and just sweep Hofstra, this team is going to be on cloud 9 confidence-wise, and that's going to prove to be very big for them down the stretch. There you see 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Dukes, 1 run on 6 hits, and 1 error for the Hofstra Pride. But, hey, the Hofstra Pride, they're not a bad ball club. They're going to continue to move along, and it's still going to be a very good fight tomorrow. Excited to see that. Again, it'll be on live audio. Kurt Dudley on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association. But great 2 games. JMU, great.
You talked about JMU being on cloud 9, Houston, and if they get that win tomorrow, you're right, they never want to come back down. They head out to Virginia Tech on Wednesday to take on the Hokies, and then they'll head down to College of Charleston for a few games down south against the Cougars. So JMU, after they opened up the season with a couple of tournaments and a lot of games away from home, have finally returned home to Veterans Memorial Park and have taken the first 2 games of the series. So they've clinched the series, but now they want to go for the sweep tomorrow for Game 3. So JMU, to round it up in that first game, winning 5-3. You had Jalen Ford getting the win in that game. 9 strikeouts, went the distance. And then in this game, Heather Kiefer gets the win after she went the distance as well. So good pitching on both ends. And then you had the difference maker in this game being those Taylor Newton home runs, a solo shot, and a 3-run bomb, both of them clearing the fence with ease as JMU secures those victories. And finally, they end that 14-game winning streak that Hofstra had in the series. Now they've started one of their own with 2. The first win since 2009 in the conference tournament. So JMU will look to keep the ball rolling. First pitch scheduled for 2 o'clock p.m. tomorrow afternoon. We hope that you will join us and listen to that one as well. JMU looking for the sweep. Thank you to Hofstra Softball SID Brian Bull and JMU Softball SID Brian Hansen. Thanks also to JMU Assistant Athletic Director John Martin. Executive producer was John Salem, Director Adam Spires, and the rest of the staff from Telemedia Productions. We thank you. And today's web stream was presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association, Comcast, the JMU Graduate School, Intellis Wireless, the JMU Bookstore, Residence Inn, Quaker Steak and Lube, and Fox Hills Townhomes. Our next Madison HD Sportsnet coverage of JMU softball, once again, is tomorrow when the Dukes and Pride take the field at 2 p.m. to wrap up this series. For Houston Stutz, I'm John Simpson. Once again, our final score in Game 2 of the doubleheader, 5-1.